The church bell rang once, then twice, echoing across the small town of Willow Creek, Georgia. Everyone turned toward the front of the chapel, expecting a wedding to begin. Instead, they saw a young woman standing alone near the altar, her eyes filled with tears, clutching a bouquet she no longer seemed able to hold. The groom had vanished only hours before the ceremony. Guests whispered, families sat frozen in disbelief, and in the last pew, a man who had spent 3 years hiding his feelings realized that if he stayed silent one more minute, he would lose the woman he loved forever. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you care about, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us that sometimes life's greatest blessings arrive when everything seems lost. His name was Nathan Brooks. At 34, Nathan owned a small woodworking business in Willow Creek. He was known as a dependable man, the kind of person who fixed broken fences for elderly neighbors without charging a dime. But behind his calm smile was a secret he had carried for years. The woman standing at the altar was Hannah Carter. Nathan had first met Hannah 3 years earlier, when she arrived in town to help run her grandfather's old market after his health began to fail. She was kind, hard-working, and endlessly optimistic, while others saw a cheerful shopkeeper. Nathan saw something deeper. He saw a woman who carried everyone else's burdens while quietly hiding her own. Over time, they became friends. Nathan helped repair shelves in the market. Hannah brought him homemade pies when business was slow. Their friendship grew naturally, yet Nathan never crossed the line. Hannah eventually became engaged to a successful real estate agent named Brandon. Nathan congratulated her with a smile while his heart quietly shattered. For nearly a year, he convinced himself that her happiness mattered more than his feelings. But now, everything had changed. Brandon had left. No explanation. No goodbye. Just a brief note saying he wasn't ready for marriage. The humiliation crushed Hannah. Her family surrounded her with support. But Nathan could see the pain in her eyes. She wasn't crying because she lost Brandon. She was crying because she felt abandoned. She felt unworthy. For weeks after the failed wedding, Hannah rarely left her home. The market remained closed. The cheerful woman who once greeted everyone with warmth seemed to disappear. Nathan wanted to help, but he didn't know how. Then one evening, while delivering supplies to her grandfather, he found Hannah sitting alone on the porch, staring at the sunset. She looked exhausted, as though carrying a weight far too heavy for one person. Something happened during that conversation. For the first time, Hannah admitted how broken she felt. And for the first time, Nathan stopped, pretending his feelings didn't exist. Over the following months, they spent more time together, not as a couple, but as two people healing from different wounds. Nathan helped reopen the market. Hannah encouraged him to expand his business. Slowly, laughter returned, hope returned. Yet Nathan remained afraid. What if he confessed his feelings and ruined everything? What if she only saw him as a friend? The uncertainty haunted him. Then, one winter afternoon, Hannah's grandfather suffered a serious health setback. Though he eventually recovered, the experience changed both Nathan and Hannah. They realized how quickly life could change, how many opportunities disappear while people wait for the perfect moment. 1 year later, on a crisp spring evening, Nathan stood outside the market, holding a small wooden box he had crafted by hand. Inside wasn't an expensive diamond ring. It was something far more personal. A simple silver band engraved with the words, "Home is wherever we stand, together." Nathan's hands trembled. His heart pounded. Every fear he had buried for years suddenly returned. Hannah stepped outside and found him waiting. The town square glowed beneath strings of lights. The market behind them buzzed with customers. Children laughed nearby. Life moved on around them. Unaware that Nathan's future depended on the next few moments, he took a deep breath. Then he finally said the words he had carried in his heart for years. He told her he loved her. He told her she had changed his life. He told her he couldn't imagine another day pretending friendship was enough. And then, overwhelmed by emotion and terrified of losing his courage, he asked the question, "Marry me tomorrow?" For a moment, Hannah simply stared at him. Nathan's stomach dropped. The silence felt endless. Then tears filled her eyes. She smiled, and her answer left him completely speechless. She told him she couldn't marry him tomorrow. Nathan felt his heart sink, but before despair could take hold, Hannah reached into her purse and pulled out a folded envelope. Inside was a marriage license application. She had picked it up 3 weeks earlier because she had been waiting for him to ask. The woman he loved had quietly fallen in love with him long ago. She told him that every difficult moment, every challenge, every heartbreak had eventually led her to the one person who never walked away. Nathan couldn't speak. For perhaps the first time in his life, he had no words. The next morning, surrounded by family, friends, and a grateful grandfather whose health had improved enough to attend, they exchanged vows beneath a large oak tree overlooking Willow Creek. There were no grand decorations, no luxury venue, no extravagant displays, only two people who had learned that real love isn't about perfect timing. It's about showing up, staying faithful, and choosing each other every day. Before we reach the end of this story, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever waited years to tell someone how you truly felt? Leave a comment below and share your experience with our community. Years later, visitors to Willow Creek often stopped by the market and noticed a framed photograph hanging near the register. It showed Nathan and Hannah smiling beneath that oak tree on their wedding day. Under the photo was a simple handwritten message. The right person won't leave when life gets hard. They will stay, help you heal, and remind you that hope is never wasted. And if this story touched your heart, please support the channel with a like, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories begin after life completely changes the script. Nathan thought he had missed his chance forever. Instead, he discovered that God's greatest gifts often arrive after our biggest disappointments. And in the end, the answer that left him speechless became the beginning of a lifetime filled with love, faith, and hope.